almost there. Another 23 miles and we'll have 50,000 miles on our Tesla Model 3. There we are. We are at 50,000 miles in our Model 3. So as many of you may know, this is our 2018 Tesla Model 3 rear wheel drive. This is the single motor that gets about 310 miles of range when it was first released. Today we have crossed over 50,000 miles in this car. So I wanted to do a little review and tell you guys how it was driving this car for 50,000 miles. Well, let's go. So last February 2022, my wife and I decided to get this Tesla Model 3. We have had this car for 1 year, and when we bought the car, it had 24,000 miles. It now has 50,000 miles. So in literally 1 year, we put on 25,000 miles to this Tesla. Don't know if that's good or bad, but we enjoyed the car. We went to Biloxi, we went to Miami. We have did a lot of driving in this. So I have a bit of experience driving this car, so let's review it. So click like, click subscribe, and let's review our Tesla Model 3. So one of the first things that we will get out of the way, because everybody wants to know this, is charging. So to charge, you charge with this little port right here. It is beyond easy. At my house, we have a NEMA 1450 outlet. We can go from basically 0% to 100% in about 7 or 8 hours. When we go on road trips, we're able to easily stop at the Tesla Superchargers. Everything is set up in the app. So my credit card's in the app. I pull up to the Supercharger, I plug in, I'm charging. Literally 20 minutes later, I am on the road. Now, another thing on charging, when we go to a hotel, we're able to get free charging. There's an included J1772 adapter that came with the car. We're able to just plug that in and get completely free charging when we're at a place that does not have a Tesla destination charger. Now, you may be wondering about cost. Let me pop it up right here. Normally, I spend about $6 to $8 a month to charge this car every single night. Not just, a couple times a week, every single night. I plug this in, it stays between 60 and 80%, depending on how much driving I'm doing. And it only costs me anywhere from $6 to $8 a month. The only time it's a little more is when we hit a Tesla Supercharger. Now, around the car to me is just beautiful. I have no problems with the design. A lot of people dislike the chrome on the 2018 models. I do not even care. I think it looks great. These rims are actually referral rims. So the only way you could get the rims that are on this car is if you got enough referrals through Tesla to get these rims. Outside of that, you had to buy a Tesla Model 3 Performance Edition, which was more expensive, and then these wheels were a $6,000 upgrade. So let's look inside the car, give you a little tour. So of course, the weird door handles, a lot of people don't seem to like those, but you push in and grab, not that hard. This is the cockpit. You can see all my wife's stuff over there. And then this is the view of the driver. Now, these scroll wheels do a lot. They, control your volume and stuff like that. Also has some autopilot features. The best part about any Tesla is this screen. This screen is it's the best software experience on any EV that I have personally seen. Have I drove a lot of EVs? No, I've only driven a few, but all of them had a terrible experience when compared to this. So by clicking this little car, you're able to go in for your charger settings and your light settings and your locks and all that kind of stuff, nice and easy. And then you have this massive map. And of course, if I click this little button, it'll tell me where all of the superchargers are near me, and even tell me, for example, in Douglasville, there's 11 stalls, 250 kilowatts max, and I could just navigate right to there. Now, the other best part about this is, for example, when we used it for trips, the car tells you everything. You are never going to run out of battery as long as you listen to the car. So for example, if we put in New Orleans, which we're going to in February, it calculates from where I'm at to get to New Orleans, and then tells me exactly where I will stop at to charge, etc. So you cannot beat this setup. It's currently, there's no other car that does anything like this. Now, of course, Rivian's trying to do this with Electrify America and like EVgo to put their charging stations in. From what I've seen, it has been a terrible experience. Nothing like how smooth this is. People show up to chargers and they're not working. People show up to chargers and they're getting super slow speeds. I have never had any of those issues with this car. I have literally pulled up every time, plugged in, charged, and been in and out in 20 minutes. I mean, to add to that, one time on our trip from Miami, we stopped at a McDonald's. Well, we stopped at a gas station. There was a McDonald's next door. We were supercharging the car from like 20% up to 80%. And before we got in the McDonald's, ordered our food, and ate our food, the car was already ready to go. I ended up actually moving my charging up to 90% because I didn't want to pay idling fees. I'd rather just pay for more charge because we needed another 5 minutes or so to eat. And the car was already telling us, hey, let's go. Let's continue on to Miami. A lot of people dislike having everything on the screen. It does not bother me. I actually kind of like it. For example, all of your heating controls are on the screen to control the, speed and your location and everything. So, I can move all of this around to, split the AC since I don't have real vents. This is something that a lot of people complain about. I have just no problem with this. I rarely have to change these directions. So like once it's set and it's on my face, well, that's it. All I do is come in here and change the speed, and actually down here I can control how warm or cold it is. Now let's take a look around the car in terms of space. So let's open up our frunk. Oh yeah. Now I can say, I guess technically this was one issue I had. One time this frunk would not open for me, but outside of that, the frunk has been great. I just quit using it after it would not open. You've got your tow hook here. You've got some other little hooks for things, And then the only fluid the car takes, which is windshield wiper fluid. Frunk's great. A lot of people use it. After it would not open for me that time, I kind of quit using it. I can say since then I have not had an issue, but I just still don't really trust it. Now in terms of the back seat, you've got the vents here with 2 USB ports, and then the back seats. I mean, it's a smaller 4-door car, so there's not a whole ton of room back here. Let me try to show you. So like her seat's up a little closer than mine, but I mean, I'm pretty comfortable back here. I'm 5'8", my knees aren't hitting anything. Her seat could even come back like another, what's that, 3 or 4 inches. Now fitting 3 people would definitely be a little bit of a challenge, of course, depending on their size. I'm bigger, but 2 back here and then 2 in the front. No real issues. And in terms of like room to get like a car seat in and out, no issues there either. I wouldn't think. I haven't did that myself though. There's also, of course, the trunk. So the trunk is actually pretty good in terms of size. I mean, I could fit back here, and like I said, I'm a bigger guy. We don't keep a lot in here. This is my mount for self-driving videos, a air compressor because the tires are the weakest part of a Tesla, and they're a little charging bag. There is also some extra little storage down here, but no spare tire, of course. That's why I say the weakest part of a Tesla is the tires. So outside the charging speed and the space, I'm not really trying to do a review. I'm trying to tell you my experience with this car at 50,000 miles. We haven't had any issues with space. We haven't had any issues with charging. Our only one issue was the one time that the frunk wouldn't open. And outside of that, this car has been absolutely perfect. I can't think of anything that I would personally change. Like I said, a lot of people don't like everything being on the touchscreen. That part does not bother me. I like that the glove box is lockable. I like that there's a valet mode. I love the car wash mode. I love how fast the charging is, and the robustness of the supercharging network is why everybody should buy a Tesla over any other EV, because if you buy an EV and you want to go on a road trip, Tesla is basically your only option. After 50,000 miles, I can say that this car has been stellar for us. Like, just absolutely no complaints whatsoever. I would highly recommend a Model 3, Model Y, Model S, Model X, any of the Teslas to anybody, because from what I've seen, they're a very reliable, very good, very fast, very fun, high-tech, amazing car. And another one that I've never had any issues with, the app. The app has always loaded and worked great. You can unlock the car, roll down the windows, even open your door now, And of course, if you hold down here, you get a handful of other options that you can use. My favorite things is, of course, the climate. I can come in here and turn on the heaters, the heated seats. If I had a heated steering wheel, I could turn it on. It's just all around a great convenience. You've also got your controls for opening your front, honking your horn, etc. And one of the best features of a Tesla is Sentry mode, where that it is constantly recording to a hard drive in your car. And I can now view all of these cameras from around my car, even now the inside camera. So as you see, my app works flawlessly. I've never had any issues with it and absolutely love this feature. It's also my key, so I never really use the real card. I just have my phone in my pocket. So I think that will do it. As I mentioned, I wasn't really trying to give a tour of the car, trying to kind of show you a few things around the car in terms of size and just give you our experience with charging and how this Tesla Model 3 has been for us. I really think Teslas are the best cars in 2023. After 50,000 miles, 2 massive thumbs up. So that'll do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Click like, click subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Deuces.